Right, everyone. So there was a big botch in the Money in the Bank pay per view. It looks like Damian Priest was supposed to kick out of a pin. That didn't end up happening. So the referee just kind of decided to go on his own, and he just like, oh yeah, that was a kick out. We're calling a kick out. The ref kind of went rogue, which was the actual storyline. But Triple H spoke out on this after the pay per view. He was asked about it, and I thought he gave just the most fantastic answer you could give. So here's that clip. Now, before we do that, though, there's a chance that this gets hit with copyright and we have to cut it out. So we'll explain what he said if the video is not in there, but if it is, I would like you to hear it from him.
And what happened there? Is Damian okay?
Yeah, it looked like he didn't kick out. Um, yeah. Look, I'll let Triple H answer this question. Referee's decision is final. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with the referee to see what he saw that I didn't see, that you didn't see, that no one saw. Look, human beings in a ring, mistakes happen, things happen. It is what it is. But it's funny for me now looking at that. That if that was something I was involved in as a talent, I don't care how good the rest of it was, that would be all I would think about. And to me, it's a shame that that's all people will talk about, and that's all people will hit Damian Priest with, while he had a phenomenal performance tonight, right? But a bunch of people will attack that, criticize that, comment on that. I don't know why. That's just the negative so outweighs positive sometime. And to me, like, I wish I could just go in the back, shut off his phone, have no one talk to him for a while, and just let him think about all the other great stuff that happened in that.
Okay, so we've been saying this for a long time, and if for some reason if we had to cut the video out, we're going to explain what he said. But basically, he basically says it was a botch, right? He confirms, all but confirms that in this clip. But then he also goes on and he says something I think that's fantastic. He says, it's sad because, Damian Priest puts on this great match, right? That's what he was talking about. He does this great job at the pay per view, and all that's going to be talked about is the actual botch, right? By the media, by everybody else, all they're going to focus on in the botch. And he even brings up that when he was a wrestler, this is something that would really bother him. And you could tell that as he's saying this, that this was actually not something that's really bothering him. Now, maybe behind the scenes he was upset about it, whatever. But to the public right here, he looks pretty calm when he's talking about this. And here's why I think this was such a brutally honest, real opinion by Triple H. This is why WWE is in such a good state right now. I don't want to oversell it, but this is one of the reasons. Triple H understands, right? He's not someone that's just living in this constant media bubble or just doing all these overreactions because of, something goes wrong. It's like, oh, the end of the world. Let's get mad at everybody. Let's change things. Something has to happen. He's giving an honest assessment. He's like, yeah, okay, we put on a pay-per-view. Damian Priest gave this match that was absolutely fantastic. Everybody liked it. In our opinion, actually, it was better than the main event. Triple H didn't say that word. I'm saying that now, right? I thought that was better than the main event. And yes, he screwed something up. And is it a big screw up? Certainly, right? Because it's like the entirety of the match in a way, because it shouldn't have even counted. But this is wrestling to begin with, right? This is fine. And I know, certainly you want perfection. I get it. It's not that it should never matter, and it's fine if you have just mistakes all over the place, and especially one to this level. But what he's saying is true. And this is why superstars love him, right? Because he's admitting, hey man, I would have been pissed if I was a wrestler. That would have bothered the hell out of me. But he's saying, as someone now who's in this seat, he has nothing to be upset about, right? He puts on this great match. This botch, okay, if we weren't constantly zooming in now and looking at it on Twitter, nobody would have noticed the damn thing, or it would have gone down in history as one of those things. Like, remember that? Everyone just back in the day when you did the VHS tapes or before like social media got big, people would be like, I don't think he kicked out. And people would be doing the freeze frame, trying to see if it was, but wouldn't ruin the pay per view like people are trying to make this event be. This is not the end of the world. And I just think Triple H's leadership is shown through with this, right? His leadership is off the charts, and I think this is why a lot of people are enjoying him, in charge, because he has this kind of perspective. It's not the end of the world. The WWE will still go on, and it didn't ruin the pay-per-view. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next.